welcome to our Intern podcast, episode 3. Today we have our special guest, Hayley. So this is going to be a special episode because unlike our past episodes, Hayley's a marketing intern at the firm instead of a legal intern. So let me give the mic to Hayley, and Hayley can do a self-introduction and talk about herself.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Hayley. As you may or may not already know, I am a marketing and operations intern at Ravenscroft and Schmierer, and I'm a rising second year at the University of Chicago, where I'm currently majoring or about to major in economics and either public policy or urban studies. And I chose to intern here because I have an interest in law, so I'm debating whether or not I want to attend law school after my undergraduate degree. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to, look at the day-to-day functions of a law firm without, having any legal knowledge, which would allow me to work as a legal intern.
So could you tell us some of the tasks and responsibilities that you're allocated at the firm? So what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So some of the tasks and responsibilities I have, I guess the main ones would be our corporate social media accounts, so our various LinkedIn, our YouTube, our website. All of those are controlled by me. And as I'm also in charge of managing several like LinkedIn accounts for our partners, and also managing our press releases and all of that comes out. I also do a lot of the ads searching. So for example, I am responsible for Google Ads. I regularly update and relist our Google Ads. I look at SEO for our website, search engine optimization, and I try to see which keywords we can use or which articles are having more hits, and I try to optimize those. I've also introduced various new initiatives. So for example, we didn't used to have a CRM control, but now we're using HubSpot to just control our analytics and make sure that we have a more clear overview of what's going on. And one more thing about Ravenscroft and Schmierer is that we're a German law firm in Hong Kong, and so we have connections to many other German law firms in Asia. So I keep in touch with our wider corporate, organizations like the CBBL in Asia and ADWA, which are sort of collections of German law firms that function in Asia. And I collaborate with people from those different organizations.
Okay, so thank you for giving us an overview of, SEO and all that stuff. Given that you've talked about that, do you have any thoughts on, SEO, particularly in a law firm? Because I know law firms so normally you wouldn't think of tech when you think of a law firm. So what are your thoughts on us using that?
So I definitely think that legal tech, not just marketing, is a very interesting field. Marketing-wise, I think lots of law firms are catching on to the fact that, marketing isn't just about posters and isn't just about, ad campaigns. It's also about, where you end up on Google, the search engine site, or how many or your various channels of social media and how you market on social media. So for example, on LinkedIn, we have a more professional looking, outward guest facing sort of persona, and the same with Google Ads because you're looking for corporate clients. But for example, with sort of the YouTube channel, it's more directed towards interns and acquiring new talents. So just diversifying your talent streams and making sure you know which site and which, form of media is directed towards which type of audience. So I think many more and more law firms are catching on to this. But I did notice that working in the firm that legal tech is still quite a new phenomenon in Hong Kong. And I would say that, just based on just the way that the Hong Kong legal system works, it's based on precedents. So there's lots of paper, required, lots of, old cases and evidence that you have to print out and to hand in to court, which you can't do, virtually, which is, quite a big difference to other jurisdictions like Singapore, where lots of lawyers and lots of solicitor firms especially have switched to using, digital copies of everything. So I guess there are pros and cons in Hong Kong, but I will say that one thing I have noticed that perhaps isn't so good is just the fact that, because of the way the legal system is set up in Hong Kong, lots of law firms end up having to use lots and lots of paper and various, more traditional forms of media, which I'm hoping that this will change in, our lifetime as we transition towards more, greener technologies and things like that.
Okay, so talking about, going more green and saving paper using more legal tech, I know that our firm recently signed a green pledge on the Eco Pledge. So could you tell us a bit more about that? And what do you think is, what do you think is for the future of ESG causes in a law firm?
Yeah, so Ravenscroft and Schmierer recently signed the Greener Litigation Pledge and the Greener Arbitration Pledge, and both of them are essentially, various forms of agreements where a law firm decides, self-restrict the amount of paper they're using or sort of go with alternative initiatives if possible. So, for example, here at Ravenscroft and Schmierer, I'm helping out with the Greener Arbitration Pledge and Greener Litigation Pledge by, applying for various e-delivery channels for lots of our documents instead of using traditional paper delivery. For many of our sort of court cases, this is easier in Hong Kong as well. Our lawyers use public transit. We try not to, take private cars as much as we can. And even when doing injunction deliveries, we try to, group them by location. So we're using less fuel and less, fossil fuel consumption.
Okay, so Hayley, could you give us a brief overview of a day in the life of marketing, and could you also tell us what the biggest project you've worked on until now has been?
Yeah, so I guess a day in my life, we'd start at about 9:15. I'd come into the office, I grab a coffee, whatever it is, and then I have my do and to-do list, which, as I'm sure many other interns have mentioned, is actually quite helpful because you get to organize all your tasks by importance, but also, you can see what you've haven't done or what you really need to do because it's been there for a couple of days now. And so after that, I typically go on Teams. I talk to JP, who is my supervisor. And we figure out what are the urgent tasks of the day, and that usually involves something like drafting LinkedIn articles, or maybe I'm helping edit different, various intern articles, or like looking at our Wix site and seeing how to optimize each page. And then I check our Google Ads from time to time just to make sure that all the links are working. And I also am responsible for the corporate accounts, so corporate social media accounts of not only the firm, but also some of our partners. And so I have to update those, make sure those are up to date. I collaborate, again, as I said before, with ADWA and different organizations. So I think there's quite a bit of variety in what I do day to day. But I would just say anything that is regarding, digital marketing or collaborations with other people, or even looking at, potential new hires, I have, some responsibility for and I help out with. And I think I would say my biggest task so far has been the website, because the Ravenscroft and Schmierer website, I think certain parts of it are a little bit old because it hasn't been updated in a while. So I think so far what I've been trying to do is make some new landing page clips, make a new clip for Teams, and I've been trying to update that website and just boost our SEO because we didn't really used to have meta tags linked up. So now I'm trying to add meta tags to most of our articles or add, SEO keywords. So for example, if you're looking for a litigation lawyer to deal with Bitcoin and finance, scams in Hong Kong, then Anna, one of our in-house lawyers, is great for that. And so I've been trying to add sort of these key phrases and tags to her articles and to her page so that people who are looking for these sort of services will instantly find Anna and our law firm. So that's an example of what I've been doing. And I guess another big thing that I've been working on is just this intern podcast as well. I've been, responsible for this project. I've been editing all the videos. I've been doing all the sort of marketing for this, and just various little tasks. But overall, I'd say my biggest focus right now is the website. So these changes aren't live yet because they're obviously subject to approval. The website is quite, a big part of our firm's identity and marketing outlook. And so, an intern can't change everything all at once. But I think just having the opportunity to have these ideas, pitch them to, our senior members of our management team has been great as an intern, because the culture here is much more inclusive, and there's an open door policy in terms of what I can and can't do. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Hayley, for, having a chat with us here at Intern Podcast. And hope you guys had a fun time listening to the podcast. See you guys next episode.